Hello. Today I want to talk to you about empathy. And what's got me thinking about empathy is that last week, this was a personal experience for me. I was in hospital having a pre-op assessment, and the nurse that was doing my pre-op assessment told me that she'd actually been through the same operation that I will be going for last year. And I thought that was an absolutely brilliant touch by the hospital, because apparently they try to book as many patients in who are going through this procedure with this particular nurse, just because she has such good insight into the procedure itself, into pre-care, into aftercare, into hints and tips, coming out the anaesthetic, and different ways that she found and her experience and how it could help me in getting through the op and my recovery. And I honestly thought it was such a great idea that they'd they'd come across, and that in that way they were really empathising with their residents. There is an expression which says we should never judge a man unless we've walked a mile in his shoes, and I'm a great believer in that. In the job that I do, in the work that I do, I'm fortunate enough that I still have my mum with me. Mum lives at home with vascular dementia, and she turned 98 last month. So helping to support her has given me, over the last few years, an incredible insight into some of the symptoms and behaviours of vascular dementia, and what works with mum and what doesn't work, and how to get the best of her, and how to work with her when she's distressed, and that other people might think she's being difficult. So that has been a massive learning curve for me, and she has been an inspiration which has led me to write a guide to help people with dementia to eat better. She's also been a guinea pig for some of my product solutions, which have worked really well with her. So I can then very confidently go out with personal experience to my customers and say, yeah, I've used this with my mum. And I have another thing that's always in my head, which is when I look at product solutions that we provide, would it be good enough for my mum? And it has to meet that criteria. So that's one way that I have developed empathy for people who are living with the condition of dementia. Recently I visited the Care and Dementia show, and as part of that I took part in a virtual dementia tour, and that again has been absolutely designed purely to help you and I to walk a mile in the shoes of somebody who has a dementia, and to understand the challenges that they face on a daily basis, and therefore to understand how the way that we work with them, the way we interact with them, can massively have a positive impact on the quality of their life and their behaviour. So as part of this experience, I had to don weighted gloves, dark glasses that had got the middle bits blacked out, and so we only had peripheral vision. We had headphones put on us which had got a lot of very muffled background noise going on, and we were then literally pushed into a room which was dark, with a dark red colour, with lots of strobe lights going on, and there were 4 of us in this room. And literally, it just put me, I was a different person. I was anxious, I was shuffling around this room, I wasn't very confident about moving, I wanted to hold on to the sides, and when a carer came up to me and put her face very close to mine and asked me to do something meaningful, I tried to do something meaningful. I walked to the sink and I tried to cleaned some cutlery and some crockery that was in the sink and put it on the side. And as I put the crockery on the side, the carer came and shoved it back into the sink for me. And it really wasn't a very nice experience. I then thought I could go into another room. So I pressed on what I thought was a door, and an alarm went off, a really loud alarm went off, which really shook me. And all I wanted to do was sit down so I'd be safe. And when I came out, I was really pleased that I'd done that experience, because I do think it gave me a massively improved experience, and improved experience in terms of how what I do can impact the lives of people living with dementia. And I will think about them differently. And I think about my mum differently now too, a little bit. So that was really helpful for me. Again, it was trying to develop empathy for our customers, our residents, the people we support. I also read an article in The Guardian this week about the CEO of the Fremantle Trust, whose name is Sarah or Sarah. I'm not sure which it is. I do apologise, Sarah. But what she did to develop empathy with her residents was to book into one of her care homes for a weekend, which I thought was fantastic. How better to really see what your residents see, how they, walk in the mile of their shoes, interacting with the staff, the environment, everything about the service that she's providing. She would get to know, and she learned so much from this experience. And I think it was an extremely brave, courageous, insightful thing to do, and I think we should do more of that. So my question to you today is, how do you develop empathy with your residents and the people that you support? When was the last time you walked in their shoes? And I'd love to hear your comments and your ideas and thoughts on this subject, and how we could incorporate it more into the way that we run our businesses to gain a better understanding and better empathy with our residents.